Welcome back. How are you feeling today? So in this video, I thought we would go over what each book is for, what each book was created for, walk you through the process. The reason for this is that I've received a lot of emails, people asking me to suggest a book for them, to choose a book for them. And to be honest, I don't know your path. I don't know what you are here to experience. So it's very difficult for me, unless, we're doing coaching sessions together, or we're doing Reiki sessions together where I'm constantly seeing your energy, to know which book to suggest or recommend or any of that. So I thought I'd walk you through, because there's also all this new information coming through for each book that I thought would be fun to share in the next few videos, and it will give you a better idea of which ones will serve you better. So for me, there's a process. It goes in order, the way I went through it. The first book was Your Past is a Gift. Now, in this beautiful book, even though it's my autobiography, all my experiences that I was asked to share in a book, the purpose of Your Past is a Gift is to shift your perception, to shift how you're looking at the world from you. Because what I noticed about that book is that my whole time, my focus was on my mum, on my dad, on my sister, on all the beings that played roles for me in my childhood, that assisted me in having the beautiful human experiences I came here to have. But the whole book is looking at the world from outside of you and focusing your attention on the beings that raised you, the beings that were part of your childhood, like your siblings, and understanding that it was never about you. The big takeaway I got from the first book, Your Past is a Gift, was understanding that everything that was going on with my mum had nothing to do with me. It was all what was going on inside of her. Her frustrations, her irritations, her world, her internal world was what was being reflected out into our world. So when she got frustrated and angry and she would yell and she would come and smack us, it was never really about what we were doing or weren't doing. I know, because I went through the same after I had my daughter. And that is also part of that beautiful book. I share that experience there as well. That we grow up and we say, oh, we're never going to do those things that our parents did. And then we find ourselves doing them. Why do we find ourselves doing them? Because we get to see the other side of it. Not just the side of receiving it. So let's say receiving punishment. Yeah, when you get smacked, when you get yelled at, you're receiving punishment. But now you're on the other side of it, and you're the one that's giving out the punishment. You're the one dealing out the punishment. You're the giver of the punishment, if you like. You're not the receiver. So you get to see both sides of it. What does this punishment feel like when you are the one receiving it in your childhood? What does this punishment feel like when you are the one giving it as an adult? When you're all grown up. Two sides of the same experience. What does it look like? So Your Past is a Gift is perfect for those of you who still feel that things are happening to you. If you still feel that you are a victim, that you have no control, things are happening to you and there's nothing you can do about it, then that is the perfect book to start with. It is the first steps towards forgiveness of others, of what they've done. It's a small peek into what others were going through when you arrived in this world. It gives you that perspective that when we arrive, these adults that we are born into, they already have a whole lifetime of pain and suffering. Many of them have already been through a whole lifetime of rejection, of being punished, of being abused. They've already had a whole childhood with all these experiences, and then you come along. Now, what's interesting is what's coming up in the very latest book that I'm halfway through. Have you ever stopped to think, why were you born into that house? Why were you born to those parents or to those guardians, whoever raised you? Why were you born there and not somewhere else in the world? Why were you not born to other parents? Why weren't you born somewhere else in the world? Why were you born there in that particular place that you were born? Why the place? Why the parents? Why those circumstances? There are parts of the world that are in war zones. There are parts of the world that are poverty-stricken. They don't have food to eat. There are parts of the world that are super wealthy. Why were you born where you were born? To the parents you were born to. Do you ever stop to think about that? Because that's a big clue that you chose this. It's not coincidence that you were born to those parents. It's not a mistake that you were born where you were born. You were meant to be there. You were meant to have those experiences. And this first book, this beautiful book, Your Past is a Gift, takes you through what your parents may have been going through when you came into the world. What makes your parents your parents? You know, we are not born with the urge to yell at our children. We are not born with the urge to smack our children. We're not born with the urge to abuse them in any way. When you come into the world, when you are born, you are a blank slate. You have no judgments, you have no beliefs, nothing. You come in as unconditional love. Your first few breaths in this world, that baby's cry when it comes out of the mother is the cry of unconditional love. I am here. I am love. And then we go into our childhood to have all of these experiences. We create all of these beliefs. We create all of these judgments from the experiences that we have. And these judgments and these beliefs are the colors in our palette. And they will paint our experience. They're the colors we will use to paint our life experience. But when we come in, we have no colors. We are just unconditional love. That's it. Pure unconditional love. So if in your heart you are finding it hard to forgive, if in your heart you can't seem to find compassion for the parents that raised you or the guardians that raised you, Your Past is a Gift is the perfect book to start with. It shifts the focus off of you being the victim and understanding that this pattern didn't just start with you. This pattern has been going on for generation after generation after generation, possibly for centuries. This pattern of abuse, or this pattern of neglect, or whatever pattern was in your childhood, it's been there for a long time, long before you came. It's the experience that's been, all of you have been living out over and over to gain the wisdom and gain the knowledge of what this experience is all about. It is about seeing all the gifts of every moment that we have lived that we couldn't see before, because we were looking at life as, it's happening to me. This is happening to me. I can't do anything about it. I am a victim to these circumstances. This is the first step, stepping out of being the victim and stepping into observing that this pattern has been going on for a really long time. And you chose to come in and have this experience for the highest and greatest good of all. Because every experience we have, every time we gain knowledge, we gain wisdom. So does the collective consciousness, and more importantly, so does spirit. Because we are never disconnected from spirit. We are always one with spirit. Even though in this simulation, it creates the illusion that we are separate. We are never separate. So today is an invitation for you to look at where you are in your life. If you feel that life is happening to you, if you feel that you're constantly reacting to everything, that you have no control over what's going on in your life, if you feel that you are a victim, sit with yourself today. And just for a moment, breathe in this information that what happened to you in your childhood has already been happening to your parents, to your grandparents, to your great-grandparents. It's been going on for a long time. These are learned behaviors. We do not come in with these behaviors in our system. We learn them. The same as we learn judgments, the same as we learn our beliefs. We create our beliefs from what we learn from those around us in our childhood. We create our judgments from those around us when we are little. But these are not things we are born with. These are created along the way. They are part of our beautiful human experience. All right, my beautiful beings. So today is planting a seed to create this awareness that what has happened to you has happened before, and before that, and before that. It's been happening for a while now. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything to provoke it. It was never your fault that these things happened. All right, my beautiful beings. The first step to forgiveness is understanding that the people that caused you pain and suffering were already coming from a place of pain and suffering. And I'm going to leave you with that for today. So if this is where you feel you are at in this moment, then this book is perfect for you. Your past is a gift. That's where I started, and that's where I was when I first started writing that book, filled with anger, filled with resentment. I was a victim, and I couldn't forgive. All right, my beautiful beings, I love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And share these beautiful videos. There may be others out there that are filled with resentment, that can't forgive. And perhaps this is the first step for them today towards forgiveness, towards letting go of that anger. All right, my beautiful beings, bye for now.